Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome Leni DiMancari to the program tonight, a guitarist for A Rising Force. They have an album called Undertow that's coming out May 7th on High Vol Music. I have heard an advanced copy of it, Lenny. This is fantastic stuff.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
10 tracks. You got a video out for it. You got a really cool cover on there. You must be pretty excited to get this out to the masses.
Well, we're really excited. We were originally going to release it in November, and then our good friend Ron Keel said, "Hey, why don't you shop it to a couple labels before you do a self-release?" And next thing I knew it, we had a few offers, and the second one we took with Highball, and they're fantastic to work with.
Yeah, I've done interviews with a number of Bill's artists, and they always speak very, very highly of him. And in my dealings with him, he's always been top notch. So,
well, it's nice to be able to get a hold of your record company president on his cell phone. It's not like the '80s where you had to go through a secretary or wait for a response from someone from A&R.
Yeah,
it's like it's cool. I could text him and go, "Hey, what do you think about this?" It's like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's
exactly.
Very down to earth guy. Great guy to work with so far.
Yes, very much so. Tell me a little bit. I usually start with like the band name, the album name, and the cover art. How did these three things come to be for this project?
Well, the three of us, Brian Lawrenson, our bass player, and Lane Allen, our drummer, we're all in a band called Dare Force, which had 5 albums out internationally. Very popular band.
Yeah.
And we decided to leave and look for our own lead singer, front guy, and we found Mark. And Mark came to us and said, "Yeah, I'd love to do the project." Next thing you knew it, we said, "Well, we need a name." So I said, "Well, how about A Rising Force, since we're rising away from Dare Force?" And everyone thought that was good, and it kind of stuck. So that's how we got the name. Bill's company came up with the artwork. Their artist and their graphics guy is fantastic. I think his name is Skaz. He came up with the concept. He liked the title Undertow, so we wanted to go with the theme of rising up from the undertow, which when you look at the album cover, you can see the hand rising from the water. Right. There's a girl on the bottom of the ocean. It kind of sets the mood of the record. And that's how we came up with that. I mean, I can't really expand any further.
Yeah. Great stuff. Now you're all Minnesota boys. I was doing a little background. Mark is one too, right? Yeah, because he was in Touched and Them Pesky Kids out in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, he still plays with Them Pesky Kids.
Yeah. And so you're all Minnesota boys out there. I was doing a little bit of background with some of the stuff. I mean, Lane's been playing since the 5th grade. Mark, started out in his parents' basement, but then he went to Berkeley, which is cool. And so you guys, and like you said, you, Lane, and Brian have been together for a while. So that's a great nucleus right there.
Yeah, and Brian and I have been friends for decades. We've done a number of different projects together. When I joined, their former guitar player was leaving the band, and he actually called me and he said, "Do you want to take my place in Dare Force?" And I said, and that was Kelly Peterson. And I said, "Yeah, that sounds fun. I'm kind of tired of playing Pearl Jam for the last 5 years. Sure." Yeah. And I did a few tribute acts, and I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff on the internet about the band. I think we had over 10,000 followers with the Pearl Jam tribute. It was pretty cool. But I said, sure, I love their music. I've been a fan of their bands. I actually used to go see them before we started doing shows together. And here we are. We're all like the closest of friends too. So we're all very tight knit in this band, and we all collaborate and work really well together. So
that was going to be my next question. All 4 of you wrote for this album?
Well, the 3 of us did, and Mark came last.
Okay.
The songs kind of materialized over about 10 to 14 months, I guess, of ideas. And it's cool because we have a little digital recorder at our rehearsal hall. So if we come up with a cool part or something, we just put it on there, and then we can go back and double back. And Lane's pretty excellent at editing, so he sends that stuff out to us, and we kind of mix it up and put it together. And this is what we have. I think we finished the record in October. We mastered it in the middle of October, and then we were set to release it in November, and then we changed our mind because the record deal came.
Yeah.
And then and here we are.
Cool. And you've got a release party coming up, right? It's on the 15th.
Yeah, Bogarts in Apple Valley with some good friends of ours named Arena.
Yeah.
So, I was surprised. I got an email that all the VIPs sold out already. So,
Wow. Very cool.
Wow, that's cool.
Are you
That was quick.
still? I'm sorry, I sort of jumped in there.
No, I said that was quick. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think the tickets went on sale in like 6 hours. All the 2-person VIP couples were sold out, and I think there's one 4-person VIP left, and that's it. So I think they're still general, but the VIP thing is pretty cool. That's cool to sell that out in less than a day.
Yeah. Now, are you limited at all on audience out there? Are you 25, 50, or are you up to 100% now?
No, we're at 50% still.
50%.
And we have to be done by 11 o'clock. So
Right.
I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. I'm a 4 o'clock in the morning guy, so I'll get home and get to bed,
Yeah.
get up and take care of the ranch and the horses and work out, and it'll be okay.
There you go. I of course got to listen to an advanced copy of this. I was wanted to go over a few of the songs with you. I listened to it. Just a great album. That's just my dog barking in the background. We'll just ignore, and hopefully my daughter.
My dogs are being incredibly quiet. They're both at my feet right now. I can't believe it. Usually they go crazy.
Well, I asked my daughter, can you try and keep her calm while I'm doing this interview? And obviously she might be out taking care of her horse, so we'll give her a mulligan on this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Undertow, that song's got some serious swing to it, to my ears. I just love the way that really kind of grooved along. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
That song is a song about addiction. It's about reaching out to your friends that are hitting the bottom of the barrel and trying to get them out of the undertow. I've been sober for 25 years now, so it's not really self-reflective, but I guess it could be. But that song, that came from a guitar riff I was doing at rehearsal. And I said, well, I've kind of written this. What do you guys think? And they kind of fell in love with the riff. And then the three of us kind of collaborated. We changed it up. We have that breakdown part twice where we're doing a twin guitar solo in there. And then it breaks into the full solo. It's a really strong message if you really read the lyrics, especially the line of when you tell the truth, you never have to remember what you said.
Definitely great stuff right there. Love and War, very, very cool video, a true woman scorned video right there.
That Jamie did a good job. Our actress did a good job. I said, well, think of all the guys that broke your heart. She goes, well, how about the last one? I said, okay, you got this.
The freshest wound, I think I read somewhere that was the last song brought to the album.
It really was. Yeah. It brought a guitar riff to rehearsal, and our drummer and I got together in the middle of the week. And I said, so why don't we take this? And he said, well, hang on. I like that. Let's do it in 7/4 timing. And I said, totally cool. Totally Zeppelin. Let's do that. And then we kind of pieced it together with 2 other ideas that I'd had with other songs. And we came up with Love and War. And that was actually the last song that was written. And I brought Mark the lyrics, and Mark is really good at selling a song. So he said, but this is too long. So originally, I think it was just over 5 minutes, and we cut it down to 3.5, 3:15, I think. But yeah, we said, wow, this is a great song. And everybody we played it for said that should be your single. So that's what we went with. So the YouTube views are up. We're getting a lot of response. There's some radio stations playing it. So that's great.
Speaking of that, is that you in the role as the DJ in the beginning? Because you've got a little bit of a DJ background.
No, it's one of our really good friends that used to be on Z-Rock. Do you remember Z-Rock? And then he went to Rock 104, and I asked him if he'd do the cameo, and he was like, sign me up. So he did the DJ at the beginning of it. And he's been a dear friend of mine for a couple decades. So
excellent.
He's got a great radio voice.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that surprised me in the video was I thought you had retired the guitar flip.
There was a rumor that I did,
All right.
and I brought it back. It was the last take. I think we were on take number 20.
Mm.
And I kind of was thinking, okay, do I want to just do it one more time? Because I've launched a few into the light trussing.
Yeah.
I threw one over the back of a stage one night at a Hurricane Alice show. I think I clipped Bruce, our old singer, right in the temple one time, and I did a reverse flip. I went the opposite direction.
Oh, wow.
And he just happened to turn and boom, and it was kind of amazing. He was still laying there singing as blood was gushing out of his face.
Mm.
So, and I had those pointed headstocks back then. So, but yeah, I wanted to do it, and I was thinking, gosh, okay, do I want it? And I kind of went, yeah, I'll do it. And I flipped it, and it turned out to actually come right in on the next note.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have planned that. That just happened. Yeah,
Very good. So total fate and destination right there.
it was.
Yeah. Black Eyed Susie, that opening to me had a real sort of Dokken feel to it. But it's kind of a dark vibe to that song too. I liked that one. That one and Freaks, I thought bookended well, those two tunes. Both of them, just sort of a little bit on the dark side. I like that sledgehammer ending out of Freaks. Did you pay attention to sequencing on the album?
No,
Really?
we kind of when we put it together, we wanted, as far as album sequencing for the songs to flow together. Yeah, we did want to make sure that certain songs played right before certain songs.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the flat fifth on guitar. I love what George Lynch used to do. I love what Reb Beach did. The guys that did that kind of stuff, I love that. And I had a few friends that said, "Yeah, that sounds like you took Whitesnake, Dokken, and Rat and put it in a blender with Martin singing." And I said, "Okay, I'll go with that. That's cool."
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's heavy and it's a true song. It's a true story about Black Eyed Susie.
Really?
So
cool. Very cool. Yesterday's Hell, I remember that Reagan quote clear as a bell. Man, when that came out, I was like, holy cow, do I remember that? I'm old enough to remember that. And then the other sound bites as you went through, just kind of blew me away. I mean, there's a lot of social commentary here that's really cool that I enjoy, that really spoke to me, and where I'm at in my life. I'm nothing to hide. I'm 56, I remember, a lot of that stuff, and I thought it was really, really cool. How did that all come together?
well, I was really, I don't like writing political songs. I never really have. And this one really isn't a political song. It's a song about veterans. And I just remember friends going off to the Gulf War, friends going off to a third term in Iraq. And I just didn't, I wanted to convey a message that I thought that the government was kind of forgetting about our veterans. And that song basically says, you say you're going to do something, but you don't wind up doing it. It just keeps getting kicked down the road. We decided to use those sound bites because we wanted to try to cover everybody, no holds barred. We're an equal opportunity offender if that's the case. And the message of the song was a message of hope, actually at the end. I'm glad you liked that one. I remember the Reagan quote too, because I remember my dad coming home and saying, "Did you hear what he said?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, are we going to deal with this?" Because the first thing he said, "They're going to come and they're going to take us and they're going to shoot us all." And I'm like, "Oh my God," I can hear my dad still saying that at the kitchen table when I was over for dinner. And it wound up being a blunder that he said off mic.
Yeah. I had a hot mic there. Didn't realize it.
It was a hot mic, and I think that it made all the major newscasts that night.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing I remember a lot about the Reagan years. As far as to tie it into music, I will never forget seeing Tom Petty right around the time of the Oliver North, Poindexter, Contra stuff and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
Petty went on, and he was talking about how, riding in the back of the bus and he sees a lot of the country from the back of the bus and observes a lot. And, he's like, do you trust Ronald Reagan? Do you trust Oliver North? He says, I think when it comes down to it, you've got to trust yourself. And he launched into Buffalo Springfield for what it's worth. And I mean, I got chills. I mean, it was just like,
Wow.
blown away. So yeah, great tie-in for us older people,
During that Oliver North time, when I was out in California, I was working with Y&T, and I just remember on the street corners in Hayward, you could buy an Oliver North for President T-shirt.
Yeah.
I never forgot that when I was out in San Francisco. I was out in Hayward, and I'd see that. We'd go and eat at L'Imperial.
Yeah. Wild stuff. I want to get into the Y&T stuff, but I gotta at least bring up the cover of Uncle Tom's Cabin you guys did. I understand Brian brought this in. You guys took that, and that is like Warrant on steroids, the version you guys did with that. I mean, you just beefed it up, muscled it up, great job on that. You must have,
Well,
you have a pretty good time doing that one.
It was the hardest song to do. I'm going to be honest. It really was. All my respect to the guitarists that did those tracks on that Warrant song. It was hard to tie it together, and it was really hard to get my voice up that high on the background harmonies. It was for us. I mean, we were originally going to do Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak, and then we passed on that one. And then we were looking at other covers, and then Brian brought the song to us, and I said, that song's old enough to be a remake, and nobody's touched it yet.
Yeah.
So we did intentionally. We tried to make that as heavy as possible. And the solos were tough. I'm not gonna lie, but the production turned out to be great with the 4 guitar parts. I listened to it again in my truck on the way back from picking up my guitars from getting them set up for the show, and I listened to it very loud, and I said, "Yeah, we did okay on this.
Yeah,
this one turned out okay."
Yeah, absolutely. And I think those guys don't get too much respect for how great of a band they were. I mean, they got lumped in the whole cherry pie thing, just like Winger with the Beavis and Butthead. I've seen some live cuts, though. There's some stuff on YouTube of Warren in concert. Those guys blazed.
They were fantastic. We had an opportunity to play with them. I think it was about 10 years ago, and they were killer. But it was after Janie, so Jamie St. James from Black and Blue was singing, and Freight Train Jane. And that was a great show as well. And that was sold out. And, doing the show with those guys, they were incredible live,
Yeah.
And they were a great band. I mean, not a weak link. I don't think every time that I saw them,
absolutely.
They were fantastic.
I want to take you back now. New Year's Eve of '85. This is where you kind of got hooked in with Y&T with Leonard Hayes. San Jose, you saw Lays Rocket, Y&T, and Metallica on New Year's Eve.
Backstage, it was one of the most memorable moments ever. How did you find that? Wow.
I do my research, Lenny. I do my research.
Wow.
I got some stuff I'm going to pull out here that's going to blow you away. We're just getting warmed up.
As long as it isn't too incriminating. Yeah. Leonard and I became friends in about '84. I think it was during the end of Main Street and into Down for the Count. A good friend of ours introduced us. We hit it off. We started writing some songs together. Leonard said, "Hey, why don't you come out to the show?" And so we came out. It was neat to meet the guys in Metallica. Lays Rocket was blow away, but Y&T with Leonard up, I think 16 feet in the air on that drum riser. That was pretty ridiculous to see. There were a lot of moving moments, and then we wrote some really good songs together after that too.
I was gonna say he became a bit of a mentor to you.
Absolutely. I learned more from Leonard Hayes than anyone else, and I'm going to be honest, he beat the hell out of me in the recording studio back then. It's like he said, "Well, take away everything you ever did in Minnesota and forget about it, because there's about 30 to 50 guitarists per square block out here that can outplay you and outdo you. So show me what you got." So yeah, and then I learned production ideas, management ideas, forged some really great relationships with friends from, um, Le Mans and Cacophony, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good time.
That's cool. I think I still got it. I've got a copy of the Le Mans album. Those guys were good too. I always bought those albums, and I always looked for the ballads because at the time I was I was DJing high school dances and stuff, and you could always get away with playing the ballads. And I remember playing "Never Want to See You Cry" at a bunch of dances off that Le Mans album. So
When you
cool
hear
stuff.
Peter sing, I mean, Peter really sells a song great, and
Mm.
he screams like crazy too at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
At the same time, on that, I don't remember if it was the first Le Mans record or the second. What was the one that was on Capitol, or not Capitol, on Columbia? I think that was the one where, was it Love Lies? Was that the song? I can't
Maybe,
remember.
yeah,
I'd have to look it up. That was a
yeah.
great record. And Frigo was a genius on guitar.
Mm, yeah. Let's jump to the Hurricane Alice days, the early days, where you are rehearsing in a place in St. Paul off of Rice Street that you heated in the winter with propane, and it was a carrier pigeon home.
Oh, where did you find this stuff? Wow.
You've
that's
come a long way,
that's
Lenny.
history. Well, I mean, we used to, boy, gosh, that place spawned some of the best music together with Scott and Rusty and I.
Mm.
I wish that Scott and I are still the best of friends. I don't talk to Rusty much anymore, and I talk to Bruce every once in a while. But yeah, we used to rehearse right there in the chicken coop, we called it. There was this old geezer that had a trailer behind the chicken coop, and he lived in it. And we'd go in, to tell him we're going to lock up. And you'd go in there, and it was like an episode of Hoarders, back
Yeah.
then, because you had to crawl over things to get to this guy. His name was Terry, if I remember. Um, and we used to have to, we'd chip in out of our nickel beer money from Ryan's Corner,
Yeah.
and we'd buy propane to heat it. And then we'd go down to the bar, let the chicken coop warm up enough to where the gear could acclimate, and then we'd just play until 3, 4 in the morning.
Oh, very
Oh,
cool.
geez, that's a relic. Holy cow.
Well, the other thing that kind of blew me away when I was reading along that line was at one point you sort of pitched Dave Reese on vocals, but the timing wasn't right on that. And at first I was thinking Dave Reese, he's in Italy, but then I remembered when I interviewed him, he grew up in Minnesota.
He did. He did. And
Yeah.
he was actually the original, I think, the second singer for Dare Force. So it's kind of a cool little round robin with all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Brian and Dave are still the best of friends. They talk to each other all the time.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, we were a 3-piece, and I went into the studio, and I couldn't cut it vocally for the music we had. So
Mm.
they said, well, why don't we ask Dave? And then Dave had just gotten the gig with Accept.
Mm.
So Dave was out, and so we approached Bruce, and Bruce said sure. And then it took, after we recorded it, he was still playing, and we went and joined a band called Steel in Chicago, the singer from Head East. And then eventually we got Bruce. So
Well, cool stuff. The other person I've got to ask you about, I saw him open up for. He was first on the bill alongside with Crocus, who were touring Headhunter. Def Leppard was out with Pyromania. We went up to Montreal. I was an 18-year-old kid, and the guy opening that night was Gary Moore on the Corridors of Power tour. And I read you met him?
I did. The lead guitarist of Buzzard, one of the bands that we work with, Brett Petrusic, and I happened to be at Nuke Capet the day that he was in town, and I think they were on tour with Rush at that time. I think that was the Victims of the Future tour.
Wow.
But I had the import album of Corridors of Power because Gary was one of my biggest influences.
Yeah.
And I actually asked him to sign it, and he did sign it. Wow. I cannot find that album.
Oh.
I don't know if it got lifted in a move or a lot of things disappeared at one time. Things, memorabilia that I collected, but Gary Moore was a big influence for me.
Yeah. I will never forget walking. We got there a little bit late, and we got through the curtains up in the Montreal Forum just as he was coming out on stage, and we just sat there with our jaws on the floor for the next 30 minutes. It was just amazing stuff. Now there was a time where you sort of walked away from music and the guitar for a little bit, but I understand your wife Sandy sort of got you back into it.
Well, that's the ex-wife. That was many years ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it
I'm sorry.
was.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's okay. I mean, I don't care.
Okay,
I wish her the best.
sure.
But yeah, she was. I walked away. I said I didn't want to do it.
Mm,
I just wanted to do other stuff,
okay,
and then I got back into it, and we did a Heart tribute band for a number of years, and we got
okay,
divorced, and there you go.
okay. That's the one bit of my research then that I didn't have quite right. Darn it. Oh, but
Oh, that's okay.
okay.
Well, it's a live thing, right? It's not like it gets edited, so
Right, exactly. So
yeah.
I like to leave it all
I'm
in
thinking to myself,
warts and all, you know?
well, I mean, yeah, like I said, I
Yeah,
wish her the best.
yeah. You've recently just signed with ESP Guitars, though. That's got to be pretty cool.
Well, it's not really a signing thing. I mean, it's kind of, it's an artist affiliation program where I get to promote, they get to promote me. So I guess it's kind of an endorsement, isn't it? I guess there's
Yeah,
just no
yeah,
contracts involved in it.
like a
Um,
sponsorship.
Ordered my first two guitars from them a couple weeks ago. They came Monday. Uh, Put an order in for another one. Um, it's really nice because we get to tag them in posts, and they get to share stuff on social media as well. They're really great people to work with, and ESP has been my guitar choice for a long time now.
Yeah,
I just recently, I think I'm up to 9 now. I think I have
wow,
9. It'll be 10 with the new one. Yeah.
very
I love
cool.
their guitars. Their craftsmanship's great. Their product's great. And they're really easy to talk to about stuff.
Excellent. So going forward with a rising force now, you've got the album release party on May 15th. Anything else coming into fruition on any type of other gigs, or is it
I
a
think
kind
we're
of a
going to
wait and see?
release, well, no, we've got, 6 with the 7th one that came in yesterday, but I think we're going to try to announce everything for this summer tour that we're going to do. We had to, with COVID last year, Mark has to fulfill a few of his shows that we did with him that
Hmm.
got moved to this year, and same with me. I'm still helping with the other Heart tribute band too, Heartless.
Okay.
So on that note, yeah, I mean, there's a few. I can spill the beans on a couple. I think we'll be doing a show with Night Ranger,
Nice.
and we'll be doing a show with uh, allegedly. I can say allegedly. Looks like there's a show in the works with Ben Steele as well.
Nice. Wow.
What else are we doing? Gosh, can I just look? I'm just, I don't want to just throw stuff out there.
No, those are two
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
good ones right there.
pretty good ones. We've got that one. We've got another one that we're, I think we're going to announce the Zephyr Theater at the end of May.
Cool.
Most of them are theater shows. The other big one is the one with the suite. That's already on sale. So we're playing with them on the 17th of September
Nice.
at the Opera House.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be in a position where we're out with the national acts. It's
Yeah.
great, and I love festival billing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, definitely.
the more people that see you, the more people that can dig your stuff. That's what
Yeah.
I say.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking through your Facebook page a little bit. I love being from Vermont. I love the photo of Bernie sort of sitting between the stripper's pole. Did that
Oh
sort of
God, uh,
did that sort of bring back memories? I can't remember which band you were in. Were you guys did like background music for a lingerie show?
gosh, you really found some cool stuff. Here, let me dig through the memory banks for a minute. That would have been, boy, Council Bluffs, Iowa. Does that sound right?
I
And it
think
would
so, maybe,
have
yeah.
a place called Fat Jack's, and our camera guy that was down with us running lights stuck the camera into Rusty's kick drum and filmed the entire lingerie show from the kick drum hole.
Oh, that's gotta be
I cannot admit or deny. The Bernie thing, I think we got that. I think Slash started that, and then it moved. It, you know how the internet is. It's a
yeah.
meme, and all of a sudden everyone's like, "Well, I got it
Uh,
first." Well, no,
yeah.
you didn't. And then I said, "Well, last one," because we were just, the Bernie thing was flying for
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it was all
I
over
mean,
the
there were
place.
so many great ones. I mean, there were great ones. You know, that
Yeah,
was, but that one to me was the best one. You
yeah.
know, I love that one.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was great. That was great. Like I say, being here from Vermont, I've actually met him once. Um, when he first moved to Vermont, he lived in like right up behind where my house is now. When he first moved, then he became mayor of Burlington, and then all this other political stuff. And he actually was walking by one night. They were walking around, and I went out, shook hands, and met him. It was a number of years ago, but yeah, who'd have
Did he,
thunk?
did he look at you and go, Lance, let me make myself perfectly clear? Did he say that?
I was right. He did have the total accent,
Oh,
nice to meet you, nice to meet you. Thanks for the vote, and all this stuff. And he was with a friend. I didn't really want to intrude. I think they were kind of looking at things for the town. I think it had been a while, and I didn't really. I just, so.
I think
Um,
of Vermont, I think of Ben and Jerry's
yeah,
chocolate chip cookie dough.
there you
That's the
go.
first thing that comes to mind. Or Cherry Garcia,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I'm about 45 minutes from the plant, so yeah. In fact, my brother-in-law works for him, and he gets his 3 pints a day. So whenever he comes over to the house, we get a ton of Ben and Jerry's. So very
That's
cool.
got to make it easy on the holidays, then, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
I would
great. Yeah,
imagine just freeze those
absolutely.
things, pull them out, and say, "Hey, we're having ice cream." No way, really? Again? Okay.
Lenny, we're up to our fun part, asking the fun questions now.
Oh boy. Okay.
And I've got to ask one, and this is going to bring out another story. All right,
Okay.
one of my fun questions is fastest you've ever been in a car. Now, I understand there's a story you once got busted for like going 100 miles an hour because you were late for a show and then ended up getting arrested after the show as a result of it.
Where did you find this stuff, boy?
Lenny, it's
Oh
all
my
there.
God.
It's all
Do you
there on
see
the
why I
internet.
could do you see why I could never run for office? There's not a chance. You know, I
I
could
mean, I said,
never
this is a
hold
story
political
I want to hear
office.
with my own ears.
Okay, so I'm running late. I'm thinking, I think I was playing with the Eternal Teenagers. Peter and I were going to promote that record that we did, Peter Marino from Cacophony.
Yeah.
Well, he was in Le Mans at the time. And then he said, well, no, I'm going to Japan with Cacophony. So I filled in for a band called the Eternal Teenagers. I was told it was going to be a couple of weeks. It wound up being 146 shows. Um, and I was late trying to get to Mankato. So I'm cruised. I already had my full, I was so late that I'd already put on, the dress that I was going to wear on stage, the
Yeah.
spandex with the holes in it and the jeans and everything. I get pulled over. And then after the show, our singer comes up and goes, "Hey, the cops are looking for you outside." I said, "For what?" They said, "Well, they said there's a warrant." And I said, "Well, really?" I had something that happened up in Brainerd. I'm not going to go into detail. I wonder if
No,
that's
it's
on
good. Yeah.
that on the internet too. But yeah, it was
I
a.
didn't get that part. No.
Let's just say there was a scuffle. The kid's mom was pregnant. The guy was, poking at the kid's mom, and I cannot admit or deny, to sound legal for a minute, that I may or may not have thrown the guy into a car.
Okay.
So
Well, all for a good cause, though.
it was
Yeah.
1987. What do you do?
Sure.
Or 88?
Absolutely.
Maybe it was 80. Was it 88? Yeah, I think it was 88. Holy cow. Okay. Well, there you go. There's your fun answer.
Yeah.
Wait, there's more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody said
Oh.
this interview is going to be a lot of fun. I said,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I didn't know it was
I
going to
can't
be
decide if this is
the
more Blues Brothers or Spinal Tap, you know?
well, Spinal Tap is the Bible for rock and roll.
But Blues Brothers
Everything.
wasn't that where they had all the cops lined up in the aisles and they went behind the drummer down underneath the stage and drove out the tunnel?
Oh,
Remember that scene now?
I have to think back. It's been so long since I've seen the movie.
Yeah,
You know,
they had Cab Calloway, and they did a long part, going out, and the guys found out there was a trap door behind the drummer, and they went down and underneath the stage and out. Yeah. All right, we'll make the rest of these fairly easy for you. Favorite toy growing up as a child?
uh, boy, it's a toss up between. Do I have to pick one, or can I name two?
No, name a couple.
Well, Matchbox cars.
Sure.
I love them. Right, and Hot
Yeah.
Wheels.
Okay. Very cool.
Those would be the two favorites.
All right. If you could pick a television show to have a Rising Force song placed in, what TV show would you pick?
Well, I'd have to go with 90 Day Fiance since the song Freaks was written about the TV show. I would
That's
hope
right.
that they I would hope that they said, wow,
Yeah.
that would be cool. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, because there's a lot of drama in
Yeah.
that show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Absolutely.
drama written about on this record. Could be hand in hand. Could be a marriage made in heaven or hell. You never know.
Exactly. Favorite superhero?
I have to go with the Green Lantern.
All right. Let's go in the opposite direction. Favorite villain?
Venom.
Late at night and you're hungry, what do you grab for a midnight snack?
Uh, Banana and orange.
Okay. Favorite old school wrestler?
Oh wow.
And being from Minnesota, you've got some great ones out there.
I know we do, and I met a couple, and I gotta think of. I'd have to say my favorite one to watch was the Crusher.
Yeah. Crusher and the
I gotta go
Bruiser.
with it. I gotta go with the Crusher.
Yeah. Given your choice of household chores, dishes or laundry?
I do them both, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm very anal about the dishes. My wife would attest to that. She's, I have to load the dishwasher a certain way. I don't know if it's OCD or what, but
Sure.
I'm still making payments on that dishwasher, so I take care of it like a fine motor vehicle.
Here's the one we have the most fun with. If they were to make a biopic of your life, what actor would you pick to play you? And it's your movie, your life. You can pick anybody.
Wow, I'd have to say, that's a tough one. Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. I could see that.
Yeah,
I definitely could see
Kurt
that.
Russell.
We've been chatting with Leni DiMancari here, guitarist for a Rising Force. Let me spit that out correctly. They are a great, great band. Their album Undertow is coming out May 7th on Highball Music, available through the Highball site. You guys going to be selling it through your website, through Facebook page, anything like that? Where can they grab it once it's out?
Well, you can get it to the Highball site. All major platforms will have it too. You can download it. You can buy a physical copy. Neat thing about this CD is if you buy the actual CD, it's a 6-panel CD with the lyrics in it. So you can sing along and read about it. That was pretty cool. Plans, we'll have some at our show on the 15th. I mean, it comes out May 7th. I hope it does very well.
Yeah, I do too. It's a fantastic album. Once again, 10 tracks, just the right length. You don't get overstuffed. You get enough to kind of, it's not like one of those 75-minute opuses, just a great album.
Yeah, we've already started writing for the next record too. So really? I think we have 7 in the can already.
Well, excellent. You guys are trucking right along out there. Was there anything I missed, Leni? Any questions I didn't ask? Anything we didn't talk about that you wanted to? The platform is yours for the moment, sir.
Well, I got to be honest. The historical Leni questions were pretty cool. I got to say that. I had to really go in the memory banks to remember the chicken coop, and it's funny. I was talking to our old bass player from Hurricane Alice the other day, and I said, yeah, I'm doing an interview with Lance coming. He goes, cool. And I said, yeah. He's going to try to come up from Iowa to see the show. So that's good. I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, you covered a lot, cool. I think, we covered it track by track.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say one thing on the instrumental on there on Giza.
Yeah.
That is my stepdaughter singing on that, and Chelsea was the lead singer of a band called Helio Saga, which is a symphonic metal band, and a band called Desdemona, and she toured with Desdemona. Nice. And I wanted to throw that in because she did a really, really cool vocal line.
Yeah, and that was a great little interlude there as well. Yeah, very, very
originally
cool.
It was longer, and we shortened it up because we didn't want to lose people with 2 minutes of that.
Yeah,
but
very cool.
I wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big thanks to her for coming down and doing that. She hasn't I
Yeah.
haven't been in the studio for a few years. So.
Nice, nice. Now, who did you say was coming up from Iowa?
Scott Warner, my bass
Okay.
player
Hopefully he
from
won't have to
Kansas.
outrun a tornado on the way up like you guys once did.
Well, in May, we're okay, but we did have to outrun a tornado one
Yeah.
day in the. Boy, you just found so much. Wow. In the band, you know, and you're
Yeah.
listening to the radio and it's saying, please stay away from the tornado and turn away from right angles. And it's like, okay, there's corn to the left and there's water to the right. Where do I go? And everybody's behind me just snoring, you know, passed out. Yeah, we've had to do that.
Yeah.
We get
Very
that stuff up here. I mean, we've had it at major festivals too.
Yeah. Very cool. Leni, I wish you every bit of success and luck going forward in the future. I hope this album takes off and you guys get to book some more, you know, really cool festival gigs. You know, you would fit in perfectly with these bands that you had mentioned, and, you know, get in there and get, like you say, get out, get some exposure, and sell the heck out of this CD.
Yeah, I'm like I said, May 7th. You can buy it, you can pick it up, you can download it. Next video we'll be shooting in probably at the end of May, early June for the next video. So
Very cool.
and
Once
then we go
again,
in the studio again in October. I'm sorry, I just talked over you, Lance.
no,
I
that's
got
cool. My daughter always says, I'm Dad, you're stepping on his words."
I just stepped on yours.
That's
I
good. It's
didn't mean
good.
to, you know?
So really, we've got another Rising Force album, probably not too far out. Or would you hang on to it for a little bit?
Oh, I guess that's up to the label. I mean, we're planning on going in and recording in October if we can. You know, same studio, same engineer. I mean, the two of us, you know, we get along so well, and we work really well together. He's the first one to tell me if I'm sharp or flat, and you know, he'll stop the tape. He won't even say right in the middle of a guitar solo. No, dude, that's not good. What? I was burning. It's like, no, you weren't burning. You bent that note sharp, and that's going to sound like hell, and I don't want to correct it. So let's do it again. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, what a pleasure, Lance. Thank you so much. This was a jog down memory lane.
Yes, once again,
and a weird memory lane too.
I like to do my research. I like to come up with stuff, you know, and if I can make you think, you know, it's very cool. So Leni DiMancari, guitarist from A Rising Force. The album is Undertow, May 7th, coming out on High Vol Music. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Leni. It's been a blast.
You as well, Lance. Take care. Thank you.